that to come through. Hey, what's up, everyone? So we're at it again. I think this is like session 5 now, so I have a confession to make. I did Forge earlier today. I had some time, made some changes, some additions, really, to the station, some minor updates. In the process, I discovered that the railing pieces... Let me see if I can find one. Where are they? Oh, not railing, but whatever the heck this thing is. Metal beams. They're totally screwed up. The coordinates on these don't line up with where they're supposed to be in real life, or in the 3D space, at least compared to all the other items in the world. And the scaling's like all off. It makes it impossible, if you're trying to set things up on a grid, to line them up. You have to eyeball it. And so hopefully that gets fixed, because I really like the aesthetic of this piece for railings. Hey, what's up, man? American Bloodhound, what's up? I like the look of this piece for the tracks, I mean. They're great, and they scale, and they look good as track pieces. But I can't work with them right now. So for now, I'm using these trapezoids, which are honestly a better shape. These are more true to the original shape. But I'm using these for now as placeholders, because these actually do truly line up the way they're supposed to. Like I can put the coordinates into the grid. Yeah, it looks like a railway track. It really does. That's why I want to use it. But they're screwed up. They don't match up with the grid, the world grid, the way everything else does. Like I can line that up at a certain point in 3D space and line something else up next to it, and they will be just slightly off, and it's really frustrating. So trying to like design the map around them, it's impossible. So I kicked them out for now. Hopefully, if they do a patch or a fix, they both work just fine. I mean, yeah, this looks fine. This just doesn't have any detail. Now I can add grime and I can add a texture to it, but it's not detail like this, you know? So I'd rather use something that natively has more detail than trying to shoehorn detail onto like a very basic, primitive-looking shape. So I'm going to use these for now, because at least they're reliable size and shape-wise. Yeah, I also made... It doesn't... I'm like looking at it, it doesn't look like a ton, but I actually made a lot of updates here. So this slope is here now. This base piece, the walls down there. These beams didn't come all the way through on that side. I added this grate here, which was there in the previous game in Halo 2, but you couldn't shoot through it. Now you can. You can see the bullet holes down there. When do I think they'll drop a Forge update? I mean, they barely dropped Forge itself, and we're a year into Halo Infinite's life, so I'd say probably not any time in the immediate future, but I am hopeful. I put the decals on here. A bunch of tiny stuff, but looking at it from like... Let me go to this side. You can see it a little bit better. And this trapezoidal feature on this side here. Looking at it from the end, it really starts to resemble the old map. Excuse me. Like really starts to look like it. I also did quite a bit of work down here. As I mentioned, this whole area was relatively useless. Just wasn't really that useful for anything before. There's like this open area, and there's like nothing down here. There's this interesting feature where it just kind of drops down. I don't know if that's just so warthogs can't use this, although warthogs can't. Actually, I think they could. I think it could probably fit through there. Maybe that's why they put that there, so warthogs couldn't just use that. Not that this would be like the brightest idea anyway, but yeah, I mean they could technically fit. They could fit. So is it worth trying to navigate through there though, is the thing. But they put a lip there, so you can't anymore. Maybe I need to rethink part of this. So anyway, I put this in here, this big AC unit, and kind of stretched it and made it the right size. And this is the floor. I'm going to have a piece of like grate material here and then pipes running through it. So the actual floor will be level, but you'll have at least some nice detail work. I put all these workstations here, a destructible monitor up on the sides, trying to make this look like, I don't know, like people work here. Put a couple desk chairs in. Yeah, you would think it would be a priority, but that's the thing that baffles me, man, is like 343. If they'd focused on Forge, they could have had people making them content for free. You know, like, I don't know. I don't know whose decision it was not to focus on Forge, but because Infinite is getting a bit of a resurgence, but I don't know if it's enough to actually like save the game or anything. Nope, a little bit more. We'll go down to 18 and move it over. That's pretty good. That's good. And then this needs to be, that's to be level with that. It needs to be actually 9 units tall. So if it's 18 units this way and 6 units up, then that's a slope of 3 to 1, and that puts the distance of the angle that this needs to be at 18.9727. We'll call it 18. We'll call it 19. I'm sure that would work. Didn't think I'd be using Pythagorean theorem, but here we are. Turn on magnets for this. So I don't know the angle. I'm sure I could find the angle. How long is this piece? 18.97. So I'll do 0.98, and it should be slightly. It's pretty common on Navy ships to have pipes and stuff running under your workstation. I can't tell if that's sarcasm or not. Maybe that's a stupid idea. And although, how would the wheels work on the chair if you're like rolling around on a grate? Maybe you have to plan for that too. 18.98. All right, this is going to be kind of a granular thing. Ooh, that's actually really close. You know what I'll do? This doesn't need to be exact. It can be just a little bit too long, and it will actually still work fine. Heck, I'll make it 20. Deck plate. Oh, that's interesting. So that's a 1 to 3 slope. 3 units over by 1 unit up. So it's 18 over and 6 up. Now the shape is going to be, or like the rest of this I think I'll have flat. So I could have these continue running the whole length. Let me do that first. So it's 18, I'm just going to call it 130. Let's see where that gets us. Nope, not even close. 148. There we go. It's actually pretty close. Huh. Just like that. The bilge or water catch under the workstation collects oil, waste, and water runoff from the ship systems, then is pumped out of the ship. Most non-essential machinery spaces have no aesthetic concern, so bilge is just left open. Very cool. The more you know. Okay. Let's memorize this. So it is negative 28.5 and 148. Negative 28.5. Right? Yes. That should line up over here. Very nice. Should I have done this as like a 1 to 6? Well, let's put the pipes in. There are pipes. So accents, I think there's just a section for pipes. But they're huge. And they're not something you can rescale. I mean, you can, but this is the smallest I get. So if I grab that, I can make it bigger. I can make it a lot bigger. But I can't get any smaller. Whoa, what the? What? What? Why is it letting me do that all of a sudden? Okay, maybe it's just that piece. Because I did straight section and it would not let me scale it down. Okay, yeah, see, it's this piece. It won't let me. Yeah, it's this piece here, which is the one that matters. This is the one I'm going to be using. I can scale it this way, which is what I want. I want to make a nice, like, a piece of pipe to save on pieces. One single piece that runs the whole length. But I can't even. I could scale it bigger this way. Yeah, so pipes won't work. I have to use. Well, you know what? I could use the clamp. Make it look more pipe-like, you know, because evidently that can scale down. Yeah. And then I will use a primitive shape. You could argue that I shouldn't even be doing any of this right now. I should be. Worrying about blocking out the rest of the map. Is this something I can scale? Yes. Alright, then I will use... Can I make this smaller, though? No. I mean, that works for one of them. One of the pipes. Type the value instead of slide scaling. Yeah, it still doesn't do it. At least it didn't for me the other night. You can do that. This horizontal. Oh, right here. So I can make it bigger. But I cannot make it smaller. You see, it stopped moving. It's not getting any smaller. I can even type it in 5. No change. 1. No change. Yeah, so for whatever reason, works on Xbox Series X. That is interesting. That's bizarre. Because you would think pipes are something you're going to want to... I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of opportunities to use full-size pipes that your Spartan can walk into. But I'm sure there's also just as many use cases where you need aesthetic pipes that aren't designed for people to be walking on or walking in, you know. So that's interesting. You can't do it on PC. All right, so I will do. Oh, you're gonna be difficult now too. I find that working with anything other than the primitive shapes is frustrating. Maybe they should sign up Bungie to do the Forge development. Well, Bungie really didn't do... They did Halo 3's Forge, which was never meant to be a map editor. It was meant to be I guess a map editor, but not like a map creator, like create maps from scratch. It wasn't until later in Halo 3's life cycle that they made a couple of maps like Foundry and Sandbox where you could actually somewhat make a map, but the tools were very rudimentary. Halo Reach, they added a lot of quality of life things like phased scripting or phased physics and stuff like that. But Halo 5 was done by 343. Halo 5, you know, people have their problems with it, but I've never heard anyone mention Halo 5's Forge as being bad. It brought a lot of much needed improvements to the map editor. And that was Tom French from 343 that was the Forge design lead at the time. Okay. You know what? Yeah, I'm not going to get too in the weeds with this. I think you guys can see what I'm going for. I'm going to have a grate or something over the top and pipes running through. It's not going to affect the gameplay because you'll be able to just walk right over it. But it's just to divvy it up. Kind of looks like there's pipes coming through and going into this big cooling machine, which cools something important. You don't really need to think about it. It's just there, you know. And again, Pain of Halo 4 and 5 was awful. Yeah. Everyone hates on 5, but I thought 5 was like fine. I didn't have any fundamental problems with it. It was 4 that like it's literally painful to get through. But that's just me. Yeah, I know what you mean. Primitive cube 1 by 4 by 1 if you type the values in, but only 4 by 4 by 4 if you slide. Okay, so you can slide by grabbing one of these. So this is the Y, right? And it will only scale on the Y axis. Same with the Z. It'll only scale on the Z axis. It's when I grab this middle one, this gray one in the middle, that it scales the whole thing evenly. And with this, it will let me go down to like basically nothing, you know, like super tiny. But the other ones, like the default size it spawns at is basically as small as you can make it, which is kind of annoying. Okay, let's switch back over to... I have a controller. Why aren't I using that? If Halo 5 were a standalone game, it wouldn't be a problem. As a continuation of Halo franchise, it was a disappointment. Yeah, but Halo 5 at least, I enjoyed the multiplayer. I like the multiplayer of 5. Oof. Ooh, a lot of delay, sorry. Alright, are these the same width, this gray piece and this blue piece? It looks like the gray piece might be bigger, but I don't know if it's just my perspective. The blue piece might be bigger, I mean. Yeah, I think the blue piece is probably like 6 units. But you know what I'll do? I'm going to make that some prop. I'm not going to make it just a block, because that seems like unmotivated, like there's no reason for it to be there. So I could easily put something there to act as kind of a bulge, to have some sort of cover, kind of make this not just one rectangle, but not just be like a blank block. There's all kinds of things I could use. I can honestly, the first thing that comes to mind is another one of these AC units. But I need to figure out, so these little pieces on the side are the width of the wall, which I know in my map are 5 units wide. And then another like 5 units maybe out is the blue one. But how far down does it go? I know I got the height pretty good. I spent a while getting the height of this opening right. Basically got that by like comparing sight lines, just making sure they matched up. Now the height of this, how do I calculate that? Give me some creative ideas. How do I measure how far down this goes? Also, how farther out it goes than the wall. Let me grab a warthog for that. The horizontal scaling I could do relatively easy. I just grab a warthog and basically add 10% to it. 10 to 20% maybe. Oh, use the grapple height as unit of measurement. Yeah, because I want it to play the same, you know? Okay, so back up just a little bit. Oh yeah, that's basically it. So we're talking 1 warthog length, which is 20 game units. And then we'll add about 10% on the end. So 22 units beyond the edge of the wall. 22 units further out. That's at least a good starting place. Oh, put a road next to it. Oh, you're right. You're right. How high can I grapple? So one of these is 14 units across. I think I could easily grapple that. I will set it on flat ground. Come on. There's a hotkey for dropping snap to ground as end. Do I have? I don't think I have end on my keyboard is the problem. That's what I get for being minimalistic with my peripherals. Oh yeah, vertical's good. Okay. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, I could easily. That's easy. Now we'll go up. Let's do 20. Let's do 18. So an extra 4 units high. Now you can grapple a little bit higher if you're sprinting. Get a 22 keyboard. Bro, if you have more than 10 keys on your keyboard, you're doing it wrong. I use an 8% board. Now, are you talking, when you say grapple, are you talking about clambering or grappling? You like how I'm like lifting up out of my seat every time I try to get up there? Like I'm 6 years old, like. Bring this in a little bit. Guys, can you hear me a little better now? All right. Okay, because there's a grapple hook, so you have to be careful with your vernacular. Because if you say grapple, that would lead some people to think you're talking about the grapple hook. Okay, this is now 16 feet. Oh yeah, look at that, I could do that. I could probably do just a touch more. Yeah. So if we go 2 more units up, then we can go to 16.4. Oh, we might have found it. All right, let's bring it down to 16.2. $16.2. $16.3, and then bring it up by 0.5. How many roads can you clambering over? Oh yeah, 16.3. So somebody who's probably more talented than me can probably do like 16.4. Now, how does this compare? Do I need to crouch jump to get up here? I do. I do need to crouch jump. So I take that to mean I need to clamber. That's kind of how I do this. Like if I can just straight up jump on something, it should be a normal jump height without needing to crouch jump. If I need to crouch, then I take that to mean I need to clamber, generally speaking. The crouch doesn't help you as much as clambering does, because crouch only helps you get up if you're like a foot shy, maybe 2. Where clambering helps you as long as you're like, it's at eye level or below, then you can clamber it. So, but in Halo 2 you can jump higher, so might actually be relatively close. So I cannot just normally jump here. This is something I'll have to clamber. All right, here's an excellent question. We found the maximum height for clambering. Are those proportionate? Are you talking about the jump height and crouch jump height versus clambering? No, they're not. They're not proportionate. 12. It's more from a gameplay perspective. I kind of look at it as anyone can just jump up here. Someone with slightly more skill needs to crouch jump up here, right? And clambering, I don't know if that really takes any more skill, but it does take more time. It leaves you a little bit exposed because you can't like fire while you're clambering. Can I crouch jump? Crouch jump is relatively the exact difference as clambering? No. No, crouch jumping, as I mentioned, is much less of a increase in your possible jump height than clambering. Clambering gives you like, I don't even know, 20% higher accessibility, where crouch jumping it's maybe like 10%. Let's get this down to 11. Right there. This I should be able to, yeah. I can crouch jump on that relatively easily. It's hard because I'm trying not to clamber. All right, so we have our minimum jump height, which is 11 feet. Or I guess minimum clamber height, and maximum clamber height is like 16.4. So this needs to be between 11 and 16 because it's nowhere near the peak, you know. And frankly, how does the floor in here line up with the floor in there? Is the height of this roadway. It looks like this level I'm on right now looks the same as this level here. And then this right here, that's the level of how you walk into here. So that's a good like starting point. And it cuts down to there, and then the height of the gutters to here. Oh, you know what? This is 2 road pieces. However, these look compressed compared to the rest of the road. So I don't know if that's actually... Yeah, those are definitely compressed. Should you use the maximum obstacles clearance height as your unit of measure then? I'm not sure I understand. I want to make sure jumping up here feels the same as it did jumping in Halo 2. Now, that's tricky to do because you can jump higher in Halo 2 and you couldn't clamber in Halo 2, so it's not really going to feel the same. But I want the gameplay to be similar. What was I? Oh, it's 22 units out. That's what I was doing this for. I'm like, what did I? I'm kind of scattered, guys. And I moved it there. Yes, very good. 40. Oh, max height of... Yes, as far as what I want people to have access to. So if something... I'll show you a great way, a great example of this. When I did my Halo 5 remake of this map, just the way I built it, you can clamber this. Like, pretend this is Halo Infinite or Halo 5 mechanics. This is easily clamber territory. In Halo 2, this isn't accessible to you. Crouch jumping, not crouch jumping, doesn't matter. Now you could grenade yourself up there, but I feel like that's well outside of like typical, gameplay expectations. Or you could stand on a teammate's head or something, but as far as core gameplay movement goes, this isn't accessible to you from Halo 2, and I think that's by design. They don't want you to take this, because this is an indirect route this way to come out here. This gets you further away from your base, but you're more protected. If you could just jump up there, there'd be no incentive to go anywhere other than this path, because this is a closer path and it's more concealed. You'd be halfway to your base before the enemy team noticed you had their flag. Now what you can do is if you're coordinating with your team, you could have a teammate up there and you can throw the flag up to them. But I mean that's just strategy. But the core movement, if I kept all things the same, you'd be able to clamber this. So that's an example of what you're talking about. Is this needs to be taller in Halo Infinite, because I should not be able to access this from this floor. And I'm going to put a garbage can there and everything, and I should not be able to access that floor from here. So it needs to be higher. So it's not just about making it look the same, it has to feel the same. .8, that's what that is? It's kind of a weird... Oh, 37.5. Yeah, 48.9, I guess. Nope. 48.8. Yeah. All right, I guess that's the size of this opening. I measured that at one point for something, so I know it's accurate. And then 22 units out. Let me grab a warthog real quick. I think we need to go a little bit more. Yeah, I think we should do like 24. Well, no, that's probably good. I think that's good. Because the tires on the other Warthog were right at the overhang, so I think that's good. I'm just going to delete this Warthog. I don't need it anymore. So that's how far out this needs to be. So this can be shorter. Let's go with 56. Too short. Let's do 2. $63. That looks about right. Actually, just slightly more. Nope. Six 3.4. All right. So we have that. And we want a wall piece. To extend from the bottom. No, it's going to be Halo design set, walls, wall standard A. That can be 5 units, and this is 28 units wide. Okay. Get this till it's matched up. It's 22 units tall. I don't know, I think that was just the default size. I don't think that means anything. $23.5, very good. That looks about right. All right, let's go back to Infinite, or Halo 2 rather. Now I can jump and I can't even hit my head on the bottom of this bridge here. And I also want to be able to jump, crouch, so basically clamber up here, but then just normal jump up here. Are these roads out here also narrower? I think they might be slightly narrower. No, actually they might be about the same. Yeah, they look to be about the same. I will say driving through that section on my map feels very similar. It does feel bigger, but again, it needs to be bigger for the increased movement speed and the increased player count and increased vehicle speed. The map just needs to be bigger if it's going to work. All right, so clamber there, normal jump next to it. So that was 48.8. That is 28 units wide. That leaves 20.4 units, which is 10.2 units on either side. Boom. I can do basic math. Oh, maybe I can't. Still off by 1 unit. 10.3? That doesn't seem right. Oh, no, it was 48.8, not 48.4. So yeah, that'd be 10.4. Okay. All right, and we said maximum clamber height was 16. So let's make this, and jump height was 11. So if it was 10, if this was 14, that would leave that much room there. How does that look here? It looks a lot wider in mine.
I missed something. Can you say it again?
Alexa, stop. Yeah, it looks a lot wider in mine, but hey, I'm not going to question it right now. Okay. And let's go add a floor. And we'll make this um, 4 units tall. That should be good. Let's make it 5 and be consistent. And then that looks like about 50. Nope. About 70. Nope. 120. Yeah, that looks good. And we'll just keep it consistent. I duplicated that. Why is this so tall? Okay, see, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. 22, 14. Okay, so I also want you to be 14. Okay. That feels really that feels almost too much of a scale up, you know. That feels like you're almost miniature now. Like you can still clamber it and you can still get there, but that's a little tight. So hey, that's good. And honestly, like sometimes it'll just come down to how it feels. Even if it's not exactly right, if it feels right, then go for it. That, you can quote me on that. And we'll go 13 on these. That feels better. That feels more natural. Because you have to crouch jump the first one, and then just standard jump after that. It is bigger. Is bigger. But it shouldn't be comically bigger. And it should be proportionate. So it shouldn't be like, you know, this room is like Andy's toy room and we're all a bunch of action figures. Which happens a lot because you feel bigger than you really are. And then when you actually get Spartans on here running around, you're like, oh my gosh, they look like toy soldiers. Like this map is scaled for giants. Which I really hope I didn't do. Because you can make the area bigger, but you got to make things like railings and doorways and whatever appropriate for the size of the characters that are going to be using it. Like you don't want to have 25-foot doorways everywhere unless it makes sense. Like if this is a train station in a relatively impoverished area, they're not going to have 20-foot skylight doorways, you know? Like, I don't know. You know what I mean. It needs to make sense. Okay. So that looks good. It might still be slightly too high. You know? I mean, honestly, I like it. I like it like that. I don't want to risk going any lower. Just gonna stand here like that. I'm just going to stand here like... Oh, it's definitely taller. Yeah. I think that's good. I'm happy with that. Now, on most of the angles I've seen so far, they seem to be sticking with like a 30% incline. This slope here being an exception, and that one there. But in a lot of other areas, everything is like 30% inclines. Maybe I need to bring the warthog back in. Yeah, I'll do that. Come here, boy. How does that compare? With the front tires right at the corner, maybe slightly more. Yeah, it's like almost 2 warthog lengths. Look at it from over here. Let's take a look at where this warthog lines up. Okay. I suck. It is not quite 2 warthog lengths. So maybe mine should be 2 warthog lengths. And can I just jump up here without needing to crouch jump? Yes, easily. So I should be able to just jump up here without needing to clamber, I think is the general idea. And we already know 11 feet's like the peak, you know, what you can jump realistically without needing to clamber. But really, it should be more like 8 or 9. This is 20 feet. That's 13 feet. So that means you're jumping 7 feet there. And that feels like a much shorter jump than this one. So if that's 7, then this should be 8. 2 warthog lengths would put this at 40 feet. I'm going to put the angle at -150. I know I said 30 degrees, but that seems extreme. Maybe I was thinking 15. So if it was 180, this would now be -165. That looks better, but not as steep. That's definitely steeper. $20 degrees. I'm gonna jump on this and turn around. Oh yeah, definitely steeper. That seems almost too much. Would you do something goofy on the map for a large super chat? It depends what you mean by goofy and what you mean by large. The answer is maybe. If you're asking if I'm above compromising my creative expression for money, I'm not. Okay. We'll go 22 degrees. And I'm just pulling that out of my butt. Like that means nothing. This is also too long. I can tell you looking at it. Let's do 38. Come on. Just magnetize just this once. Although I can say this angle here it looks to be about the same as this angle here. So if Kanye West super chatted 10 million to make the train run on a phallic shaped track, would you? I've done a lot more for a lot less. So, yes. For $10 million. Yeah, let's stick with 20. Will you magnetize now? Anyone know why the magnet... Oh, there we go. What's the magic trick for the magnets? Alright, and also, I think this slope is roughly twice as long, lengthwise, as this one. This one seems shorter. Maybe not twice, but it is shorter. Maybe like 20 or 30% shorter. Now, here's the big question. how high is this? Honestly, probably should have started with this. And how wide? Oh, hey, here's our tiles. Now, are these the same size? What? Oh, hi. Are these the same size as these here? Oh, I think they are. This actually got much easier. Ha! Okay, and there's tile all throughout the floor in here. So I know the exact size of these tiles, or at least I know the size I have made them to be in Halo Infinite, because they're also used over here. And I made myself a little calculator to tell me. Let's figure out the entire width of this room real quick. So we have a little bit of extra, so we won't count that just yet. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 29. So 29, and then about half, and then there's some over there. So 29 or 30. It's also hard to tell because there's a bunch of extra stuff. Do the tiles like meet up here? I think they do. So it's like half a tile here. 28.6. It's like 29 and change. Like 29 is too few and 30 is too many. I'm gonna call the edge of this where it ends. And then we add a little bit from the end over there. So I'll call it 29. Let's open our calculator. 29 Halo 2 squares is equal to pretty much exactly 100 Halo Infinite units. And just to make it easy on myself, I will make an executive decision here to just make it exactly 100 units. There are 28 full tiles. You're going to make me count them all again? There were 29. Jeez. Here we go. So there's this little bit and then the little portion on the end. So we'll count that as 1. And then I'm not going to count it again when I get to the end. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. There's 29. Freaking making me work for this. All right, now how deep is it? We'll go to this pillar. And then I'll put a trapezoid here on the end. I think it's the same on this side. So from this pillar, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43. I'm not counting it again. You're not getting me to count it again. And what was the number I just said? Tell me the number I just said. I can't even trust you. Did I say 43? I think I said 43. Well, it's close to 100 units, and I'm making it 100 units, and that's what's important here. So if I did say 43, that puts it 148.7, which I will call 100. I want to call it 150, but I'm going to call it 149. Honestly, it was more of half a tile at the end, so I'm going to call it 148. Interesting. Oh, you know what it is? This needs to be all the way out to like here, because this needs to wrap around. Yep. That's what needs to happen. Cool. Okay. I also can easily figure out how wide this part needs to be. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And there's like a little bit there. So we won't count this just yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then a bit there and a bit there is 12. 12 tiles is roughly 141.5. That's a number I can deal with. Wait. Did I say 141.5 or 41.5? 41.5. Uh, 41.5. Ooh, look at that. I'm actually relatively close. I'm actually really close. All right. Counted half tile is a full tile. Yeah, because there's a bit in the end. So it's probably not a full tile. But there was a bit on both ends that I counted as one tile. But I'm mentally thinking to myself, it's not quite one tile. But honestly, it's more like I could make this 200 units wide. I can make it 80 units wide. When it's just a flat gray square, it's really hard to tell if it's the right size or not. Because I could make this twice as big and you could probably convince me that that's the right size. Or I could make it like half that size and you could probably convince me. It's not until I start populating this and playing on it where I'm like, yeah, this is way too big. Or, oh, this is way too small. So it's more to get it in the ballpark. Because it's not an even, like, even doing it this way is not exact. Because they very well may have stretched the texture in this room. I don't know. Maybe they did. And every one of those squares is slightly wider than it is tall. And my whole map's going to be like slightly stretched this way. But it's at least to get me in the ballpark of, you know, what it's supposed to be. So I'm going to go 140. I'm going to go 41.4 because that will allow me to line this up. Actually, maybe 0.5 was fine. Yeah, 0.5 is fine. Now it does need to go this way. Now here's a good test. Let's see how good my other calculations were that I did previously. Here we go. We said we wanted to make this 8, right? Because I should be able to just jump up that fairly easily. Yeah. Shouldn't need to clamber that. So I have the height. Honestly, this looks... I'm going to stand here. And I'm going to go in Halo 2, and I'm going to stand here. This looks too short. This looks like the exact same height, and it should be a little taller. It should be slightly taller. Now, you can clamber up to like 11 feet. Or you can just jump up to like 11 feet, or 11 units, whatever the units are. So I should be able to raise this by like 1 more foot and still be okay. That puts me at 9. That's close to the threshold. Yeah, see, he kind of does a little like... Eh. I don't know if I like that. I don't like it being that close to... I mean, I hate doing this, but maybe I go down to like 8.5. And that's also walking. I think sprinting, it's even easier. Yeah, 8.5 seems good. Okay. So this... Actually, I got pretty close by just eyeballing it. At least if my crooked math is anything to go by. Yeah, like how I'm leaning my head to try to get a better angle on this. 67.7. Nope, a little bit more. 0.8, 0.9. All right, so I get 67.9. Basically, I get 68. I get 68, and then it's how many tiles wide here. Again, this is assuming these tiles are perfectly square. I have no idea. I'm not counting the first one just yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 if you put the two ends together. Let me count one more time. Not counting just yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 with the end piece. Please tell me this gets me something in the neighborhood of 68. So we'll do 25. Well, gets me 86. Oh, okay. Well, I also don't know how far over this is supposed to be. Let me look in Halo 2. So if I'm here, oh, this is clear over into like where I put this ramp. I thought this would be a little bit tricky because here, there's nothing here. So if I were to walk through this wall, I'd drop off to right here in this corner, probably right about here. I have a ramp there now. So really this is supposed to be clear over there. So what I could do is I could make this 84 units and see roughly where it's supposed to be. 86.46. We'll call it 86.4. I round down just a little bit. 86.4. Now this should tell me relatively where this needs to be. Yeah, look at that. Like lines up right there. Which is basically where that drop down would be. The thing is, I have this here now. I don't think it's a huge deal. That means actually this whole piece needs to be more that way. More to the left. Because I think this wall pretty much lines up with the rest of these. Which means the end of it should end about where the station platform ends, and I think it goes a little too far. Yeah, so I will need to scale this back a bit to make room for this ramp. Now, I think that should be fine. You have this awkward drop down right here. I think we can basically make up for that room by dragging this way. But that's going to move this whole ramp down. It's going to make it so the top of the ramp starts like about here. And then the ramp starts going down. So I may just need to leave that little spot and make just this walkway narrower. Or I decrease both a little bit. That's probably what I'll do. But 100% this needs to be shorter. You know, I could go all the way. Well, probably I'll end here. I don't know how exactly I want to do this ramp. If I want it to be wider than the doorway or exactly the width of the doorway. I think I'll just end it here. Yeah, just to be safe. And then who knows, maybe, I know this sounds like super lame, but maybe here at the platform I could have a little window so you can actually see what's going on. You can't go through it, but maybe you could shoot through it, you know? It also kind of helps the attackers if they see their flag through that little peephole, they'll be like, oh, there he is, you know. Or you could like toss a grenade through it. I don't know. One more place to like kind of interact a little bit. Yeah, I kind of like that little window there. All right, let me try on magnets for a sec. Where does this line up? If I did 68, turn on magnets. Yeah, it's like a unit. It's like 7.9. You know what I could have done to get the width of this thing? I could have looked how many tiles over it is by looking like straight down. Now this isn't going to be exact, but it looks like about there. If I had to guess, I assume I did not bring it out far enough. But let's see. We have a little bit of a tile. We'll call it like 0.2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.2. We brought it out 22 units. So what does 6.2 translate to? 21.4. Okay, so actually we were pretty much dead on. Just by using our Warthog ruler strategy. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it 22. This is actually really good. We're really close. I think I just need to move this over to the left, and then I need to angle this. I'm pointing at the screen like you can see what I'm pointing at. I'm going to angle it to be a little shallower and then longer by whatever this distance is, like 1. Have you ever drank Bailey's from a shoe? I can't tell if that's a legitimate question or a joke that I should be expecting a punchline from. Well, no, I have not. This is very unscientific. We'll just call it 38. Turn on magnets. Oh, magnets are just, they're going to do that thing where they just, you know, don't want to work. Alright, so I know I do need to be a little bit shallower and a little bit longer. Mangina. I don't know what that is. Or is that supposed to be mangina? It's probably what it is. Alright. If I just ask nicely, will the magnets come back? Nope. Slightly over there. I think the length is good. And I think the angle is good too. Let me just line this up. It'd be much easier if I had magnets, but they're just on strike at the moment. Why do I only have this as one unit? It's supposed to be 1.7. Why is this only one unit? Who let me do this? Okay. Alright. I mean, that shouldn't really have changed anything. Okay. All right. Eight. We'll call it 8.5. 8.6. That's really close. Vertical, we'll call it 1.5. Ooh, that is also really close. I mean, that might be as close as we get. How does this side look? Ooh. Nope. Making it taller means it now has to be a little bit longer. Alright, we'll make it... It's probably good. And the angle has to be ever so slightly. Honestly, it's going to be easier to work with the 161 than it is, or to work with the height of this than the angle of this. Because this has like several variables where the height of that, and it's not something that needs to be exact. So again, this would be way easier if my magnets were working. We'll go 7.5. 7. That's pretty good. Ugh. You know what? I'm just going to make this just a touch shorter. .2. Sure. It's going to be 8.2 now, guys. That's official. Why is it... What the heck? What did I change? Much love for Terminal. Yeah, I love this map too. No, 8.4 was good. Why did I change that? What am I missing? Did I move it out of the ground? No. Oh, I was trying to line it up there for some reason. American Bloodhound, I don't have an answer to that, unfortunately. I think that's outside the scope of this channel. All right. What are you magnetizing to exactly? Whatever. We'll just do 60. We'll just do 50. $55. It's magnetizing the... Oh, now you'll magnetize. Stupid bridge. Screw you. Dude, these controls. It's a miracle I've gotten this far. They're so bad. I really need to put that extension on. Okay, so keeping it the same width, it does not really work. It needs to be shallower. But it may not be the same width. Let's count them out. Oh yeah, this is definitely narrower. So we got a piece of one on this side. Oh, there's a pistol. Oh, there's a pistol, guys. Yeah. A pistol. Thank goodness for that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. $31. Call it 31.1. Honestly, that's not bad. I thought this was going to end up being... Oh, you know what we should do? We should just make it line up with this piece. Nice and symmetrical. Where does it line up here? So basically, it would line up here instead of here. I'm fine with that. 58.5. And I'm going to bring it in just a little bit. I normally would be able to stick to the script so to speak. Stick to the map parameters as they are, but it's adding this ramp here that is it's forcing me to improvise a little bit. So this little drop down is basically going to be non-existent because there's a pillar in the middle of it. And this space is now taken up by that pillar is going to take up that whole space, which honestly, would you miss it? Would anyone miss it? This is not high enough. It's bugging me. Because it can't be just like... The pillar's going to take up like half the space in here, and then it would be like barely enough room to even walk. And then it looks like I just didn't know how to scale the map, you know? Either needs to be completely filled up and just gone, or we need to shrink this even more. And I think we need to shrink this even more. Is what's happening right now. Let's shrink it down to... Let's do like 24. This doesn't feel that different, you know? I think we could even go smaller. I think we could do 22. Now, could you do that jump in this one? Oh, yeah, totally. Easy. All right. So where does that bring us? So we need a pillar there, and we need a ramp here, but we need a ramp that is covered. Like it has walls. But I think it needs to be the same width as that. But this is 28 units wide, and I know for a fact this only sticks out 22. Oh, yeah. The ramp does overlap into the slope of the other one a bit. So that's fine. It is... Shoot. I don't know if I'm going to match that perfectly without doing a bunch of math. So I will just grab a ramp that is roughly 1x4. Ramps. 1/4. Let's just do that. But this has to be right now it's 16 units wide. It needs to be 28 units wide. Yeah, you really do walk right next to it in this L-shaped thing. All right. All right, so right now this is a 1-to-1, and I need it to be like a 4-to-1. So if it goes down, oh wait, but half, no, it's like a 2-to-1 because half of the vertical space is used by just a platform it's on. So it's really a 2-to-1 ratio. Ah, boy. Okay, so whatever I need it to be, I need it to double. I need it 8.4, which means this needs to be 16.8. If I line up these magnets, it should hopefully be just in line with the ground. Nice. And then it needs to be over by 8.4 times 4. Anyone got that number handy? $33.6. Oh, but it the origin's over here, so all right. So this goes clear out to more than the halfway mark. And this stops just shy of it. I think 1/4 is too aggressive, or too shallow, rather. I think it needs to be 1/3, so 8.4 times 3. $25.2 is what I got. And then I'll have to move it over. That looks better. It is intruding. Like, it goes under this ramp by a little bit. But that's just the price we had to pay for having this be this wide. And honestly, we could shrink it a little bit more. I actually think we have to. I think we have to shrink it by like another 2 units because the pillar's here and there has to still be enough room to walk. I think this needs to be, yeah, 20. I feel like we can't shrink that anymore without making it feel dramatically different. I can jump to here. I assume I could do that here because this is so much smaller. Yeah, easy. Oh, huh. It's my mic arm. I'm looking at the stream and I'm like, I have some random piece floating way out there in the distance, and it's my it's my mic arm. Oh gosh, I'm stupid. Okay. I'm like, there's like a piece of a ring floating out there. When did I put that out there? Okay, and then a pillar goes there. I mean, that looks pretty damn good. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with all of this. It is bigger. It feels bigger, but it feels consistently bigger. And it still feels like I can traverse the same places, which is a lot of things to balance. Yeah, I like it. I do like it. Let's see. I was going to make this smaller. I'm just going to have it end where this building ends. Okay. That looks pretty good. I'm really digging this. Okay. I'm still going to leave this here because I'm not sure exactly how high I need to make this floor. This seems really far away from the building. Not going to worry about that right now. Focus. Okay. And this is a good height from the ground. Oh, you know what I just realized? Ooh. Probably not something I'm going to look at tonight, but tell me if you guys see the problem. I've set my terrain, which I can move, but it's a decent amount of work to make sure the terrain matches up and looks okay. You look at I'm playing in Halo 2 right now. I'm in this lobby of the train station where the ticket counters are. Now look how much I go down in elevation. I go down, 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 down right here. Okay? I feel like that's good. Looking back at Halo Infinite, I feel like we can go down by that amount and we'd still be safe. You know, we'd probably be around here. Maybe 2 units, 3 units above the ground. We're still good. Here's the problem. Here. We need to have room for a basin. And then a basin within a basin. So my terrain at its maximum height cannot go any higher than the bottom of this here. And I was not thinking about that when I placed it. And I think that is too high. This needs to come down. I'm not looking to fix it right now, but it is something I will need to fix. For sure. I'll probably have to just use smaller pieces. I was trying to just like be more judicious with my piece count. And honestly, the more just big slabs of terrain I can use, the less seams I have to deal with. Yeah, you can see I haven't made a lot of progress on this thing either. Just because I'm curious what it would look like, let me save real quick. Is it really bad if I like this much more? Ah, jeez. That feels much better. Honestly. I wish that weren't the case, but I can't change it. $2.5. Nope, don't want to save just yet. This is better. Objectively, this is better than this. This wonky dealio. The big problem is I based all the rest of this. Actually, no. No, this is the height of the road. This might not actually be a big deal to change. I'd have to increase this height right here, but that's okay. Honestly, that wouldn't be too big of a deal. This looks so much better, though, than this, like, weird up and down thing I have. And I was already planning on like, well, I got to use like blockers so I can not get tripped up on those. I don't know why I was so committed to that shape. It shouldn't be too hard to fix. Like, look at this in Halo 2. Isn't that just so much better than this? It just is. It just is better. And that shouldn't be a huge deal to fix. I'm going to save it. That's what I'm going to do next time. It's okay. I haven't even really done this yet. I really need to get these done. However, I am glad that I haven't yet because now I have the opportunity to do them better. Yeah. Yep. That's what it just looks so much better. It just does. Dang it. All right. Let me save. Let me build real quick. All right, now screwing around. It's actually terrain down here now. I don't fall to like the bottom of the map. I'll tell you right now, it feels really good. Like size-wise. It doesn't feel too big at all. I like this a lot. Still got plenty of room here. I mean, the big thing we need to worry about fitting is this guy right here. But again, since I've scaled everything up, this should be no problem. Yeah. Oh yeah, we're good. You can fit here easily, but this is still kind of a precarious place for the Wraith to be, because there is so much above you that can be shooting down, throwing grenades at you, and it's really tough to try to hit someone on like this walkway. I don't even know. It's really satisfying. So yeah, the Wraith fits fine. Oh man, I can't wait to test grappling the train. This is where I'm gonna put the grapple hook. It's right here. I'm also gonna have some pipes right here that go this way. And then probably connect to holes right there. And then pipes under there. It's looking good. It is looking good. I think I need to turn my attention to the garages. All right, let's figure out how high this top floor needs to be. Oh, can I not, oh, I can't clamber these anymore. Oh, shoot. That's a problem. Shoot. So maybe the shape is out. Oh, no. It's because it's like a hexagon. There we go. Hey, you know what, though? That actually works exactly like Halo 2. You can't jump on it directly from the ground. You have to be standing on this like gutter piece. I'll show you. That was close. Yeah, so you try to crouch jump. No. I stand here on the edge of this. Totally. Yeah, I saw it coming. Okay. This is looking good. I like the way this looks. Yeah, the floor of this. Let's take a minute. If I'm standing on the tracks, oh here I spawned in the garage. Perfect. Do something kind of dumb and just jump on the tracks real quick. All right, wait for a train to come by. Here's one right now. Okay. So if I jump, I can barely see into it. Now there's a lip here. That was basically like my feet. It's hard to tell. And it's also hard because I can't stay on the tracks. Oh, you know what I'll do? I'll stand over here and look at the tracks as a point of reference. So the tracks are too far down and too far away to jump up to the garage from. I think the close, that thing is fast. I think the closest you can get is like right here. Oh, snap. You can make that jump? I just jumped on the train. Have you always been able to make this? And I just never knew about that? What? Huh? Oh. Oh! It didn't kill me. That's funny. Wow. I guess you could always make that jump and I just never knew. Alright. Yeah, you could totally just run, jump. Oh, it's not even hard either. Jeez. Okay. Where was I? The second floor of that garage is just barely higher than the track, so that should be relatively easy to figure out. It's this one that's going to be tricky. And a lot depends on how tall this garage is. Maybe I need to go to a third-party perspective. If I stand here. The tracks are definitely closer to the second floor height. They're almost like the bottom of the second floor. You know? So this train station. Let's try that again. So this train station, oh, come on, cross tracks. You go up by, I think I can probably clear this jump. Yeah, so I can crouch jump to that height horizontally. So it's only about at the most 15 units higher at the most. Now I do have these set up over here. How high did I put these? These are put at a vertical of 16, but that also adds in the thickness of this piece. I don't know if these are actually 1 unit squares or what. Let me see. They are. Ha! Cool. This grid texture is actually 1 unit. Each of these is a unit. Maybe everybody knew that but me. But yeah, that's cool. So this is a little over 4 units tall, 16 total. So that means we're going up in elevation by 12 units, which is probably about right. 12 units higher than this floor. And it is definitely higher than that. So maybe 12 is too tall, but I am scaling the whole thing. I don't know. It's tricky. Well, for now, we'll go 12 units higher than this. So this is resting at 601.5, and it's 40 units tall, so it's 641.5 here. So 12 units taller would be 653.5 on the top. So if we make it, let's just take this piece. I kind of figured out the trick to duplicating things. So if I'm here and I'm wanting to duplicate this, it won't let me do it because what it feels like it's doing is it's trying to basically grab that piece, make a copy of it there, and then drag it to where I am. But there's some dynamic objects in the way that for whatever reason I can't move things through. So if I put it over here where it's not going to go through the warthogs when it duplicates, now you'd think duplicating, it's not moving anywhere, so why does it matter? It does. Just duplicate it where if you were to draw a line between the two, they wouldn't be interfering with any dynamic objects. That's what it feels like it's doing. All right, well, I can quickly figure out the width of that. So that's 75 by 200. Yeah. No. No. Oh yeah, I was doing like 7.5 units over here. Jeez, what a nightmare. Gosh dang it. Am I going to have to keep doing that? Is it because of these things? If I go up to 0.8, will you be mad at me? Feels fine. I'm going to go up to 0.8 because that's ridiculous. I'm not doing that. So this needs to be 0.5 higher. So 43. Nice. Nice. All right. So this needs to be 75 by 200. See, I can't drag it through a warthog. That ramp's not nearly tall enough. Yeah, that definitely needs to be higher. But how thick do we think this floor is? You know, there's an easy way to tell right about here. We know this is about that high. Right about there. Oh, but it's got these things to it. Interesting. So the actual floor itself is not that thick. Just keep in mind there's going to be beams and stuff. So I'd say it's not even that thick. It's maybe... I wish there was a place where we could see a side profile of that, but I think maybe 2 units. This lines up with those. Yeah. I'd say it's actually only like 2 units thick. It's pretty thin. It's just all the extra stuff that makes it appear thicker. Okay, and this I think is 2 units thick already. Yeah. All right, and we're from the bottom, and it's 2 units thick, which means, what did we say? 641.5 plus 12 is 653.5. So this is 2 units thick, so the bottom needs to be at 651.5. 651.5. Like that. Seems pretty good. It seems maybe slightly too tall. Yeah, this ramp's definitely not tall enough. But it should match up with this pretty well. I think these need to be sloped a little bit more, but regardless, I like that. And then what are the X and Y of this? 659.2 and 241. All right. Technically have my second floor built. Or at least started, right? Hey, we made a lot of progress today. I'm happy with that. All right. Next on the agenda. I need to increase the height of all these gutters and finish flushing them out over here, and adjust all of this accordingly, because that's going to be higher now. Flush it out over here, and then basically redo them here. Oh, and there. Lovely. That'll be interesting. And then I could start making this walkway here in the garage. And I've had people complain to me about this section here, like on the original map. It almost felt like too concealed. Like if you get the flag, I know this is a little bit of an open run right here, but honestly, if you get the flag past like this point, you're in the tunnel and it's pretty hard to stop you. I want to add another way for an engagement to happen there. I don't know. I'm just going to zip around in the wasp real quick. I know people have told me the wasp is a terrible idea. This map was not designed to have a wasp. It shouldn't have a wasp. It never had a wasp. I hear you. I do hear you. But it's more like it just kind of fits in a way. But being able to fly over buildings without getting shot at, it is kind of cheap, huh? It's a little cheap. Now I could still clear this with the Warthog, right? Oh yeah, easy. I'm really happy with the way this turned out. It's looking good. I like it a lot. Okay. I think we will call it here. Yeah, that's the next thing I'll work on is all the gutters. Getting those fleshed out, getting that fixed. Start maybe one of the two garages. I'm not sure which one. Once I have this fixed, I'll have more confidence to tackle this garage because I've been up in the air about fixing the gutters, but I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it. Just going to do it. And then I'll work on this garage over here. And then that's kind of it for the big structures. The only other thing is there's geometry over in this corner. And I'm going to build a tunnel that goes over here into the train tunnel and back around through the back of this base. And I'm going to give this side the same treatment where you can go maybe past this gate through a tunnel and then cross the train tunnel. Like there'll be a service entrance on either side of the tunnel. And when you're in the tunnel, you have no warning when the train's coming. You have like milliseconds before the train comes. And you can like risk it and run across there and be mostly concealed. And then have a wider path here, so if they want to bring the Wraith up there, they can. Make it not so cumbersome. And then a walking path as well. And then some buildings, and obviously everything around there, but we'll take that one day at a time. The very next thing we'll do is gutters. Then we'll do the garages. And then we'll see what happens next. All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I actually just had a video released today, the Deckmate. It's a pretty cool little device. It uses these interlocking mechanisms to attach to the back of your Steam Deck. It's pretty cool. Whoops, sorry about that. So this piece snaps onto your Steam Deck, and then these interlocking components kind of snap into that. And it's like got a spring on it so it stays secure. And there's all kinds of attachments you can add. For example, Ugreen sent me this hub, the 7-in-1 hub, and I put one of Deckmate's pucks on there so I can just have a hub, fixed to the back of my Steam Deck. So I have all these extra ports. If I want to add more games, I can throw that on there. If I want to charge it, I can throw that on there. If I want to have an HDMI out, I got that. So yeah, you just throw these pucks on basically anything you want, and then now this can permanently be, it's got a quick release, but it can be attached to the back of your Steam Deck. It's a cool device. It's on my channel, and then I also have another video coming out, a Steam Deck Accessories 2.0. I did one previously that a lot of people seem to like, but I got a lot of comments in that video that like, hey, if you're going to buy all this stuff, why not just get a gaming computer? Now, the reasonable response to that would be, that's a good idea. let me go shop around and find maybe some budget-friendly gaming computers that could compete with the Steam Deck and do like a little head-to-head thing. That would be reasonable. The unreasonable thing to do would be to double down on the Steam Deck accessories approach and go super hard into unpractical but awesome gear to accompany the Steam Deck. And that's the approach I'm taking with this video. Not that a gaming computer is a bad idea or an unfair criticism. It's just a more entertaining video, I think, to double down on the premise of like adding all these accessories to your Steam Deck. But anyway, I find it entertaining. If you think you might, stay tuned because that video should be out in the next 2 weeks or so. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Talk to you guys later.